We are going to have some fun today. Owning your own practice, going solo, or working for a DSO, and an article that just came out from the ADA. We begin our podcast right there.
Welcome, all you wonderful dental podcast listeners, to the My Practice, My Business Dental Podcast Show, where we help dentists profit and thrive with excerpts from the clinical business of dentistry training here at My Practice, My Business. We'll be addressing and answering questions with current trends dentists and their teams face each and every day in their pursuit of this wonderful career we call dentistry. And now, the host of our show, the clinical director at My Practice, My Business, Dr. Rob Thorup.
Whoa, this is going to be a good one. Usually when I do my podcasts, I have an outline, and I follow that outline pretty much. But today I'm sitting down in front of my microphone after reading an article that was put out in the ADA Morning Huddle. And it happened to be an article written by Becker's Dental Review, which I haven't done a background check on who these guys are. But every time I turn around, it seems like they're promoting DSOs and kind of just all the data or researches that we see from them or everybody else is like promoting DSOs. Well, then I happened to bump onto Facebook really quick before going out on this beautiful spring day and planting flowers. And I want to thank Melissa, her article in the Dental Disrupt Nation, because she has saved me from a few minutes of going out where it's a little bit nippy still here in the Salt Lake Valley. I wanted to warm up a little bit before I go out there and start planting some flowers in our yard. So I want to thank you for posting something that just absolutely, you and I are on the same page. I read that same article, the business climate, dental practice ownership is declining, the data shows. And I read that in the, looks like you got yours maybe from the AGD Practice Weekly. I saw mine in the ADA Morning Huddle, I think it was. And I actually cut and pasted that, and I sent that to my wife, Tracy, her and I, we're the owners of My Practice, My Business here in Salt Lake, and you can go to our website and you'll figure out who we are and what we do. But as I read that article, I was just like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Here we go again. You know, and Melissa, I'm going to share with my listeners what you wrote. You said less and less want to own. And more women than men are just saying no. Is it the cost, the debt that makes it hard to get a loan, managing team, dealing with insurance, wanting more freedom? Owning my practice, she said, owning my practice has been one of the best decisions I've made. I want everyone who wants to own to be able to. What are your thoughts? Melissa, you're 100% right. Owning a practice is the best thing to do. I've been doing this since 1989, where I started my practice from scratch in a heavily saturated area of Salt Lake City and was told that if I did and I didn't just go work for somebody, I would be in bankruptcy in 4 to 6 months. And I'm just going to say to everybody, there's always room at the top, which was told to me by one of the leaders in the industry of dentistry who had a very successful dental lab here in this valley. And I always took that to heart, and he said, and there's always room. I remember Gordon saying, he's still alive, there's always room for people who want to work hard and make it go. So as I read this article, and Melissa, thank you for posting that, I want to comment on just some of the comments. I won't use their last names, but Nicole says, she says, quote, I think it has to do with the consequences of every decision you make, especially as it relates to employees. Trying to attract, train, please, and retain employees is probably the biggest reason fewer people, especially women, want to own, end of quote. And Nicole, you are right. That is the trouble. That is the problem. And before I go on to any of these others, Nicole, I want you to know that at My Practice, My Business, we train on teaching people to run a dental practice just like any other business. And our profession has been I'm sorry, I apologize if I offend people, but I really don't care. Our profession has been so bastardized, and that's the only word I can really come up with to describe it. It's been so manipulated maybe is a better word. I don't know. And it just doesn't have the impact. Anyway, by consultants and people out there trying to tell us how to run a business, how to do things, and they have all these preconceived ideas. My gosh, can we just slow down and make the algorithms of what we do fast, simple, and easy? Plain and simple. So, Nicole, I completely agree with you. There are those concerns, but do we bring them upon ourselves because we lack business training as dentists, and then we rely on the thought leadership of other people who've been running things either the way that the status quo has ran it for years, or they just never ran a business in dentistry? Because dentistry is definitely a different animal, and I've done a lot of things in my life. People just look at my curriculum vitae. It's out there. I've been blessed to do a lot of things, and dentistry is one of the toughest things I have ever done. Will says, well, most dentists are pretty smart. Debt, in addition to the current political climate where the country is going, makes me very hesitant to buy. Being an owner is only going to become more difficult. I just have to decide if I want the hassle. I think that's where most are, whether they know it or not. Will, I want to encourage you. You can go solo. This political climate and the state of the economy has its ebbs and flows, ups and downs. Barring a major, huge pandemic or a world war, yeah, those are things I just wouldn't. Just go for it. Don't let that noise be a distraction. David says, I simply couldn't stand to work for anyone any longer, and I learned I can get what I'm truly worth by owning and being my own boss. If this doesn't work, which is unlikely in my optimistic mind, it's on to the trucking industry. Laugh out loud. David, you rock. That is awesome. That's like, believe me, we just went out with some of our friends that are in dentistry. They practice south of us here a little ways. And I'm like, we joke about that. It is getting more and more ridiculous with some of the things we put up with, but there's also ways to push back, which is what we train on again here at MPMB, how to push back with insurance companies, things like that. That's why we really took off with House Bill 359. We're the ones that made that thing happen. My practice, my business, not the association like they're trying to say, not anybody else. And we've got other things that are happening right now that are going to improve dentistry in the state of Utah. It's like, don't wait for your association to get on track and to get doing things. You know what? If you have a drive, go do it yourself. Get going. And let the association wonder. There are those that there are those that make things happen. There are those that I'm going to blow that. There are those that think about making things happen, those that make things happen, and those that wonder what the hell happened. Yeah, that's exactly correct. Let's see. This one, this guy's up in Canada, so I'm not going to read his, but his points are very good too. Here's Adam. As an owner, more financially sound, I became the closer I get to selling out. I'm done with the headaches. The COVID problem has increased the headaches tenfold. I think we're willing to deal with things when you don't have the financial strength that time delivers. Adam, you must be practicing up in the Northwest or back east. This whole COVID thing has been absolutely amazing to see the direction that dentistry has taken. I am still blown away at all the companies out there with PPE devices, these robots with high vacuum, suction and everything else. All this stuff that took place, and all the companies came out and said, you need to buy this, you need to buy that, plastic shields, plastic barriers. Here in Utah, Texas, Florida, the majority of us didn't do any of that. So, sorry, I had to take a sip of my Diet Coke here this morning. I feel bad, Adam. You're absolutely right. There are definitely headaches in this business, but do we bring them on ourselves because we don't understand or we don't know what we don't know? So, Adam, I'd love to entertain any phone calls from you to help you out if you're struggling, but your statement is valid, absolutely valid, and it breaks my heart to read colleagues post stuff like that, because we want to help you out. We want to help and show you how to be profitable on the majority of your procedures, not be upside down with PPO plans, using their own contracts and state laws against them. That's what we love. That's what we do. Matt here says, maybe I'm in the minority, but I like going to work every day. It's only been 13 years, though. I would never want to be an employee. There's also something to be said about a good consultant advisor or a great office manager that takes on most of the non-dentistry headaches for you. End of quote. Matt, God bless you. I still get excited to go to work every day, pretty much. There's been a couple, just these last 2 weeks have been a little rough for different reasons. And Tracy and I have been shaking our head going, why do we do the things that we do to help out colleagues that have no idea we've helped them out? But you know what? Matt, you're absolutely right. Good for you for waking up every day and wanting to go to work and enjoying to go to work. And you're absolutely right. There are some good consultants, advisors out there that will help you with the day-to-day protocols, but very few of them, and I do mean very few, understand profitability. They do not, they think that additional patients, additional work, working your guts out, cramming the schedule, they think that relates to profitability. And those are people that have not had business classes, they don't have a degree in business, they don't have an MBA, and they've never, ever battled the insurance companies themselves. But one thing that they can do is they can really get an office manager humming to take a lot of those headaches from you. So Matt, good for you. Great statement. Then there's Shiloh. I hope I said that name right. Forgive me if I didn't. English is not my major. It was like my seventh ability in life. Anyway, Shiloh. Why does working, I think it's him. Yeah. Why does working for another practice owner have to mean not practicing the way you want? I own 2 practices now as an absentee and give the docs the freedom and support to practice how they see fit. I might have some guidance or check to see if they are okay doing something more economical or improvement for treatment. And as long as our treatment philosophy is in line with each other, they just go for it. End of quote. Shiloh, let me tell you something, my friend. You're just a wonderful, what we call, you're not a DSO. You're not a corporate run program. You're just a great guy who owns a couple of practices that gives your dentists the freedom that they need and want, and good for you. You are the rare person out there, okay? So, yeah, it's like if you want to go work for a small corporation, boy, we encourage that. We just trained a small corporation several months ago here with a gentleman that owns 4 practices, and he's a practicing dentist still himself. And he's just a good guy that tries to take care of his team and is a forward-thinking individual. Yeah, those are fun places to work and get your feet wet if you want to. It's not necessary, but if you just don't want to deal with the business, if you're one of those guys that you don't want to deal with the business side of dentistry, great place to go. Absolutely. Bob says, quote, the rewards of ownership, including autonomy to practice in a manner that lets you sleep well and the financial potential far exceeds the demands. Hire people with a good heart and work ethic, then train them to your systems. Take good care of them. I just want to emphasize again what Bob said. Take good care of them, and they will take good care of you. That is my 35 years of experience speaking. And also, Bob, I just read that you've been at this for 35 years. Isn't it funny how guys like you and I, we figure things out after about 30 years of experience. We finally started to figure things out, and we're on the tail end of our career. And boy, all you young practicing dentists, young men, young women out there, my goodness, get a mentor like Bob. Get a mentor that can teach you these types of things. And that's where I think our associations need to be, is having mentors that can help, and people who want to help. All of us here at MPMB, we passed a law to help out every dentist in the state of Utah. So my whole point in there, Bob, with you is when you say take good care of them, we're just taking good care of the dentists in the state of Utah. And bless the hearts of all of you out there from other states who are listening to our podcast. Thanks for calling in to Tracy and asking for copies of our law and how we did it so that you can do the same thing in your state, because you can. Do not wait for your associations. Don't do it. Take the initiative, take the drive, and get after it. Now, one of the things that Bob states here that I love is autonomy. That's one of the blessings of owning your own practice and being solo. There's so many strong points about owning your own practice, but I want to take this back, and I'm sure maybe Bob might agree with me, maybe he won't. But so many times we're told, you got to get 25 operatories, you got to build this huge facility, you got to do this, you got to do that. And I'm telling you right now, 3 to 4 operatories in a solo practice with a small team, small overhead, that is the mathematical model of solo success. You do not have to build out some huge entourage. This one guy who mentored me, and here I'm going to take a little side channel here. This guy, I'll never forget him. He was a graduate from UOP, like myself. He was about 7-8 years ahead of me. He'd been out in practice. He had 2 operatories, you guys, 1 hygienist, and he had 1 front office and 1 assistant. That was it. And he showed me just how many patients that you can only have if you have an active hygiene program. And if you expand from that, yeah, you got to work a little harder. And he had a practice, it was a cottage practice. It was very hygiene oriented. So his patients were super healthy. And this guy made more income than the majority of the dentists that had 6 and 7 operatories and working their guts out. It was phenomenal. I loved his mentorship. Again, mentorship. This guy, Mike, says, quote, I'm in the process of buying a practice right now, and you guys aren't helping, end of quote. Mike, if you want to contact me at My Practice, My Business, please do so. You guys aren't helping. Oh, my gosh. I want every one of you to know. I'm going to share with you a little secret about owning a practice. I just want to go to I'm just going to, Penny makes a good point too, but I'm going to end, I'm going to end the quotes here from this just by talking about Mike. Mike, this is what drives me insane. Several years ago, by the way, sorry, I'm going to try and maintain composure here, you guys. It's really difficult. All of you young dentists out there, I want you to know that you really blow it all the time. You really do. Okay. Well, I went to UOP, and I'm just going to quote the military. The military said we recruit highly out of UOP. We spend a lot of our time out of UOP, and why is that? Because dentists that graduate from UOP, this is their words, not mine, said they just know how to practice dentistry right from the chute. Now, I probably offended 90% of you out there, because 10% went to UOP. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, what I'm going to say. I don't care what school you go to. You get out of it what you put into it. And if you put your whole heart and soul into your requirements, and you work your guts out, and you just absorb everything that you're learning, you're going to come out and you are going to be, I promise you, you're going to be a good enough practitioner to be doing fillings and crowns and probably root canals, hopefully. And if you do nothing but master those 3 disciplines in dentistry, you're going to have a successful practice. You do not have to branch out into everything all at once. No. Take and focus on the things that are going to bring you money, that are the everyday need-based dentistry that we see all the time. And if you get better and better and better at placing those composites, at using a laser cavity detector and diagnosing, don't overdiagnose. Okay, I won't even go there. You know what I'm talking about. Do not overdiagnose. You don't need to increase your production levels. And we see that all the time, and I don't care who says we don't. We see that all the time with DSOs. We just had a whole nother crop full, and I got together with a bunch of our clients who are solo practices, and even a couple that are in group practices, little small corporations, and they're saying that they're seeing that often with the DSO companies here in this valley, and that needs to just stop. Just needs to stop. Come through our training. We'll teach you how to be profitable on one composite filling. But we're not going to give that secret sauce away in this type of a setting. So let me back up here again. It's like, I want all of you to know that this is what, this is all the discipline that you need to have to be successful. Now that you've mastered just those 3 components, and they're not hard to master. If I can do them, anybody can do them, okay? And so get good with your diagnosis, get good with technology that surrounds those areas, from Endo, Brasseler, XP3D, bam, and their sealer, state of the art as of today. I love their system. CAD/CAM, there's nothing better than Cerex Prime Scan and their mill. And then when it comes to composites, be using the great bonding agents. Don't get the cheap ones. The great ones will prevent sensitivity. Okay, now you've just gotten some technology and you know how to do this stuff. Now let me tell you where you're blowing it. I had a dentist who retired who was next to me, Dr. Steve. And Dr. Steve, he came to me and asked me if I'd like to buy his practice. Now, Dr. Steve and I, we'd been taking care of each other, okay? And I'm like, throughout the years, if I had a problem, I'd have him fix it. If he had a problem, I'd fix it. But that's not my point. My point is this. How many dentists are in retirement mode? Look at the age. Look at this guy. Penny made a comment, and maybe I'm going to bring this comment up right now. She made a comment, my boss just had to medically retire at 64. He sold his practice in 2016 and is glad he did. He doesn't have the stress of trying to sell the practice or find a dentist. Find a dentist, which wasn't easy for corporate. I was worried when I don't know if it kind of sounds like he sold out to corporate. And I'm going to tell all of you graduating from dental school, you just missed an opportunity, because it sounds like that Penny's dentist sold to corporate. And they're grateful because the one thing she says here, there have been more benefits than he could offer us too. Well, I want you guys to know there's a company out there called HelpSide here in the state of Utah. And I'm able to offer my team benefits, and it doesn't cost me a whole lot to offer them benefits because we're with an employee leasing company. Most dentists do not know about employee leasing companies, which is really weird that they don't. I was introduced to it back in the day when the dental cooperative here in Utah, I was a member of, and they had a dental leasing company that was that we all ran with, and that's where I was introduced to the benefits of dental leasing companies. So I was really amazed when I read her statement, because her doctor and Dr. Steve next to me, here they are retiring. And how many of you young dentists out there are not doing your homework and doing research on who's out there, who's older, who might want to retire in the next year or two? So let me tell you what I did to Dr. Gary, who had a 2.5-day-a-week practice in Salt Lake City. I started out from scratch with one employee, Darcy. And her and I, we built the practice up. We worked our guts out, asked for referrals, just ask. That's the most powerful thing. I learned that from a consultant company years ago. You do take away 1 or 2 pearls from every consultant that you use. All right. So we got our practice running in the black in 4 months. 4 months. We were profitable, which was really funny because I was told in 4 to 6 months I'd be filing bankruptcy. You work hard, you can do it. So all you docs out there that want to go solo out of school, start doing homework. Start finding out who's out there who want to retire. There's lots of dentists out there that are in that position, and here's the killer. They know that you're heavily in debt. They know that you can't get a loan, and for me, I'd self-fund. They know they have to self-fund. And that's so good. Our accounting firm, CBiz, my accountant, they strike more deals. They have more contracts and self-funding dentists that are buying practices. It's been absolutely perfect for them to do. The dentist is happy, the seller's happy, the buyer's happy, and CBiz helps that transaction. So if you want information on that, give me a call. But you need to be out there snooping it out, looking for it. And here's what's fun. That dentist will usually stay on board for a year. minimally mentoring you and making sure there's a great transition. And that's what Gary did for me. So after 6 months of practicing dentistry from July of 1989 until about January, I started looking around. And I said, gosh, I could have, would have, should have done this right out the get-go. I could have done that and just really taken off a little faster. But he had this little 2.5 day a week practice that I purchased from him. He worked with me for a year. And then he decided to go down south, and he had another little 2-day week practice, and he just built that up. Well, buying his practice, I got the staff, and they were fantastic. I got the patient base. They were fantastic. I still have a big chunk of those patients today, clear back in 1990, who are coming to me still to this day. And that's the kind of building the relationship, the value add, everything else. It can be done. And being a solo practitioner has so many more benefits. Just ask a CPA how many things that you can write off as a solo practitioner and the things that you can do owning your own business. The benefits are absolutely huge. Now, as one individual said, and I can't go back on my phone and look, they said, take care of your staff and they'll take care of you. That's exactly what you need to do. But how can you take care of your staff if you're not profitable on the procedures you do? And that is absolutely key. You've got to understand your direct operating cost per hour and how to be profitable by not cramming the schedule, but by offering value-added services, and all within the confines of insurance rules and regulations and state laws. That's what we specialize in at MPMB. All of you out there, if you want a solo practice, you go for it. Absolutely. In the state of Utah, we are the #1 state in solo practitioners. Why is that? Because we're #1. I don't know. I don't know if it's our society. I don't know if it's just our culture here. We love our autonomy. We love working hard, and it's just powerful. I'm glad that we're the #1 state in that, because we're also the #1 or #2 lowest reimbursed state, and #1 or #2 in accepting PPO plans. So where we excel in one area, we super decel in the other 2 areas. But I'll tell you, one of my good friends and colleagues up in the Northwest, Carrie, she made a comment that when she graduated from school up there in the Northwest, the dental school actually had DSO companies come in and say, you need to come work for us. And we've heard it from, for so many years before you go out on your own, because you won't know how. Then we've heard that from the schools here in the state of Utah. The same type of stuff being taught to them. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, it's just not true. Focus on those 3 modalities of dentistry, get very good at them. Then you can refer everything else out. Then you can branch out and do other stuff if you want to. And, and you'll be able to enjoy dentistry again. But I'll tell you, nobody wants to do dentistry for $50,000 to $100,000 a year. That's not why you went to school for 8 years. Now, that's Utah fees, or Utah wages. Nobody wants to do that. And I don't blame anybody for doing that. And that one guy who said, if I can't make this go, I'm going to go into trucking. Seriously, we just saw a truck driver advertisement for $120,000 a year, and I was just starting to laugh at. We saw that, and we know there's a lot of dentists out there that don't make that, and it's unfortunate. And we just wish they would just take that leap of faith, take our training, listen to the real testimonials on our website page. Come find out what we do. But if you never come through our training, just know you can be successful being a solo practitioner. I hope all of you out there get to enjoy the rewards of owning your own business, let alone your own practice. Hence the title of our company, My Practice, My Business. As one of my mentors said, Rob, there's always room at the top. And another mentor said, you will be successful if you're willing to put in the hard work that's required. And that's all you have to do. You guys went to dental school, you passed boards. I don't think you're afraid of hard work. I do not know a dentist that's afraid of hard work. Look at what you've accomplished in your lifetime already by getting that doctorate degree. The rest is easy. The business side, the problem is we don't know what we don't know. And when you are trained in the business, hence the name of our company, My Practice, My Business. It is a practice. It is a business. But if you don't understand business, come to our training. We'll help you do that. We'll help you be successful. And like I say, even if you don't, just go for it. I have seen personally, even some of the worst run dental practices, solo practices, still have a measure of success. And that's true. But you can't take care of your staff if you're not profitable because you can't pay them what they're worth. And staff members, there's no money for raises if your doc is not profitable. And you can work your guts out, but if you're not profitable, there will be no profits for bonuses and for salaries. Oh my gosh, what a crazy podcast. What a fun thing this was to do here. I just want to thank the people that made those comments there in that post. I want to personally thank Melissa for making that comment. Good for you. And we can all just continue to plug forward and just help each other out. Serving others. That's what it's all about. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for being with us today. To learn more about our guaranteed, no-risk clinical business of dentistry training that is changing dental practices for the better, just go to our website, mypracticemybusiness.com, and surf our pages for additional information about our company. When you're ready, give us a call and get scheduled for the best training you'll ever experience. Those are the words of our clients, not us. Our mission statement is simple. We increase the net revenue of dental practices with our key methods, tools, and training utilizing everyday need-based dentistry. We believe that there's never been a more important time than now for dentists to know what we know, and that is 1, how to compete with retail America. 2, how to be profitable with dental procedures, especially those performed on patients with dental insurance plans. 3, how to place oral health care at the forefront of patients' discretionary spending. And 4, how to ethically, legally, and morally be paid fairly for the services you provide. All of us here at My Practice, My Business know exactly how to help you implement each of those talking points and more with our key methods, knowledge, and training. Our clients' testimonies say it all. If you enjoy our podcast, please leave us a 5-star review. Thank you for listening, and we hope to see you soon at the My Practice, My Business training facility located in the Salt Lake City, Utah area. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call us. Thank you again and have a fantastic day.